Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times. I mean, tell me about that." And he says, "Well, you're just mentioning the successes." But he says, "For me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots when I was playing basketball at the NBA games." Does it make him a failure? No. We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.
And you're gonna fail. And you're gonna fail. And you're gonna fail. And you're gonna fail. And then you're gonna win.
To succeed, you must fail. In failure and in suffering, all the answers are in there.
Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live.
You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. If you don't fail, you're not even trying.
Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far.
I failed. I didn't give up. I thought it would be the elimination chamber. I failed. And for 5 minutes, I thought it was over. And every single one of you can relate to this because this is what's difficult about failure. The disappointment is on you. It is your fault. And you go through failure alone. But failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up and I am fired up because I have figured it out.
How can you beat someone who cannot fucking quit? How can you beat someone who every time they go through a hard time, they get better and they get stronger instead of getting weaker and getting demoralized? How can you beat someone who looks back on all the tests that they've had and said, "Yeah, that wasn't shit, dude. Bring it the fuck on." Okay? As opposed to the person who's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened." And then for 2 months, another thing happens. "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened." It's gonna be the person who has a stoic mentality, who looks at it and says this, "Okay, all right, we'll get through it." And then the next thing happens. "Well, won't do that again, but we'll get through it."
Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better.
You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to fucking fail because failure is the stepping stone to success. It's not just cliche. Failure is the stepping stone to success. Fuck that poetic shit. You need the logical reason why. Because failure is an experience that lends to wisdom that ultimately makes you a stronger version of yourself. Right now you want to play basketball. Well, it's not in the cards for you, but you know what you discovered? How to be committed, how to be disciplined, how to deny the self so that you can move forward in the direction of your dreams. You've won in that regard.
What statement are you making? The psychology of savagery. I wasn't the best runner, but what I did was I found the work schedules out of my competition, and I made sure they saw me running day and night. I tried to get in their heads. I got a video the other day of this UFC fighter, Ferguson. This motherfucker weighs in, and the UFC is canceled. He wasn't just weighing in. He was getting the head of his opponents. What he did was this. He wanted you to remember his hands and elbows slice you the fuck up. Remember this. Stay hard at all times. Savagery.
If I slept in, it's because I worked so hard the day before that I was tired and I couldn't get up at 3 o'clock. But best believe, by 4:15 I was up. I wasn't up late watching no movie. What do you need to motivate you? Are you not enough? Is your potential not enough? Is your greatness not enough? There's no way I'm not gonna be successful because my motives are pure. There's nothing that can stop me because my motives are pure. And the purer your motives are, that you guarantee yourself success. When you're doing stuff for yourself, you can't guarantee it's gonna blow up.
I'll never give up. Never.
If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're gonna do it to try and be the best.
How bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to find that dream again, for it is dead.
Man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take two steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.
You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to fucking try.
Yeah.
We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger. We were never satisfied, never finished, will never be retired.
For me, anger was good. Anger was good because it was motivating. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys.
If you have to ask how to get motivated to go to the gym, you don't need to be going to the gym. You don't want it enough. When you're sick and tired of looking and feeling like shit, you'll show up, motherfucker. I'll see you there, because you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna be like, fuck that. You're gonna want to be in the gym.
If you want to change your life, you must change your ways. You must develop discipline. You must develop strength. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. Your next move that counts.
You're going to lose sleep.
You won. You fucking won. When you walk out of here today, you won. Imagine walking out the door a loser. I'd rather die. I would rather die than be that loser guy. Think about that. Do you want to walk out that door a damn loser, or do you want to walk out the door a winner? I'll fight to the death. And sometimes I actually went close to death. It sounds crazy, but you got to give it that much. If you want results, otherwise you'll be like everybody else. The majority of the population, they think they're training hard. That was hard.
And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. What that means is when that alarm clock goes off, your feelings gotta go away. It's raining outside, it's cold outside, but you don't want to put those long hours in at work,
That's what I'm talking about. Your feelings must go away.
We're men because we face the battle, and we stay in the battle when we feel like we're losing.
You hear what I'm telling you? I want to hang with somebody. I don't care what the circumstance. I don't care what the situation. You put it on your back and you like, let's go. I don't run with people who count on me to put up 50 points. I run with people who put up 50 on their own. I put up 50, they put up, and we murder you. So my son, my daughter, they drive me. What drives you? And this is why I'm telling you. Because if a house drive you, you sweet. You gonna get one. Then what you gonna do when you finish? It's what she said. She blew this business up, and now she don't want to do it no more. You know how hard it is to blow a business up? You know how many people wish they could do what she doing? But yet she finished with it. Why? Because that thing was not strong enough to drive her. The Nobel Prize, that'd take me forever. I picked something that would drive me for the rest of my life. You doing it because somebody else told you to do it. You want to drive a Rolls Royce because everybody else drive it. You want to live in that house because everybody else living in that house. You got affirmation problems. You're not doing it because you really want to do it. You're doing it because you want to be affirmed.
Most people live in this nice, comfortable place that makes them feel really good. And they always ask, how do I become hard? You sure as don't become hard by living that way. You have to take yourself out of your comfort zone and bury yourself in something that makes you feel so horrible that you have to see how your mind's thinking in that horrible situation and overcome it while you're in shit.
There is no easy road.
When I was losing the weight, I had to miserably wake up every morning in the cold. This is your new life. It sucks. It just fucking sucks. And it's going to continue to suck. Because to get to where you want to go, there's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. And that's your new norm. My new norm is you get up every morning at 4 o'clock and you suffer. That became my new life. Most people want to get out of it. I said, no, motherfucker, this is your new life. This is who you are.
If you want to live in paradise, you got to fight like fucking hell to get to paradise.
You have to say, fuck you, I run this motherfucker.
When you feel that, step it up. Push harder. Make yourself get out of the comfort zone and get into the combat zone where you have to fight, where you have to dig deep, where strength and power and fortitude are found.
I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to.
When life is over for you, I need you to die on E. I don't want you to have one idea left in you. I don't want one dream left in you. When you die, I want you to go for broke. Every book you were supposed to write, every degree you were supposed to get, everything you were supposed to accomplish. When you die, don't go to the grave with nothing. I want you to give everything you got, full potential. I want you to get everything out your system because most people that are alive are living on neutral. So I want you to get out of neutral and put it in drive.
That's how you start to callous your mind. So that became my life. It's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. Do something that sucks every single day of your life.
You get the f*** out of bed when it's cold, when it's early, and go for a f***ing run. Commit to one day and see how you feel. As you're jogging and back in around 5 or something, and your neighbor's just getting up, grabbing the coffee, looking outside, wondering, what the day's gonna hold for them. Well, your day's already provided something for you. And then you go about your day at work, and your coworker's like, what happened to old Greg, man? This is who's this? That's right, the new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the f***ing on my plan, or get the f*** out of my way. When everybody else says, no, this is not comfortable, we shouldn't do this, you say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself to it.
You're still living off talent. Average people live off talents. Phenomenal people live off efforts. If you will be a champion, if you will be a beast, you're gonna have to go through something. Ain't nobody gonna hand you nothing. Ain't nobody gonna hand you no championship. Ain't nobody gonna hand you no title. I will my way through every situation, every trial, every tribulation. I will my way through it. I don't care if you fail the boards, go again. I don't care if you fail the law exam, go again, will your way through it. Some things you can skill yourself through, some stuff you gotta will your way through.
I don't see failure. I see grit, determination, drive, sacrifice. Failure means you're trying. A whole bunch of people out here never fail because they never try. I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt.
Every single game, you can give the same effort every game. This has everything to do with trial. You gotta take pride in that. You gotta wake up every day and you gotta go get it. Execution is not something that we do, it's something that we are. And most of us aren't disciplined. Because if you don't have personal discipline, you'll never get to the next level. If another human can tell you to get up and go to work and do what you're supposed to do, you be that human.
Your mind is the most important thing you have, and you gotta control it.
You gotta move you every single day.
You gotta discipline yourself, and you gotta learn that when you don't feel like it, you must still do it, or actually go harder when you don't feel like it. Because out of 365 days, there are going to be days you don't feel like getting up. There are going to be days you don't want to work out. There's going to be days that you don't want to practice. There might be days you don't even feel like getting in the game.
You're going to wake up most days and not be pumped up. You're going to wake up most days and not feel like doing it. But when you can get to a point that you do it anyway, then there's no way you won't reach any of your goals.
If you can fix procrastination, what would your life be like?
You better wake up every single day. And when you wake up, you better create your own sense of urgency. Because some kind of way, urgency is a motivator.
If this year was your last year, how would you live it? How would you show up?
That's how you grow. Embrace the suck.
You have to develop a doggedness in order to make it. You gotta have some toughness in you. And the only way to develop toughness is you gotta practice being tough. And you cannot practice being tough by quitting every time you get tired, by stopping every time you don't feel like it, by giving up every time it gets challenged. That's what's wrong with people now. People don't make it because they always give up when it get hard. You know, it's so challenging now. You know, they was talking about me. I feel weak. I'm tired. Life don't give a damn about you being tired. You got to get about the business now. You want to be successful, you got to get at it. You gotta stop all this soft shoe and then all that mess, man. You got to get at it. You got to tear their mouth out.
In life, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be our f***ing best. We're supposed to get up early. We're supposed to work out. We're supposed to be uncomfortable. We're supposed to do all these f***ing things that people are now looking for a pound of back.
The skill of mental toughness is a skill that you must have. And when you have a day that isn't going your way, that's a gift. And it's a gift because you get to test yourself. And when you pass the test and you got through the day and you push yourself through, even if you had to drag yourself through every motherfucking step of that day, when you get through that day and you look in the mirror and you say, motherfucker, I passed that test. Nobody can fuck with me. That's a powerful thing. And you make a deposit into your psyche that reminds you of how badass you really are. Nobody's gifted with it. It's developed. They are perishable skills, meaning if you don't invest in them, they will go away. If you invest in them, they will get stronger. Just like all the muscles in your body, when you test them, they get stronger. Your life is no different. Your brain is no different. So the next time you have one of these days where just isn't going your way, remind yourself that it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to test yourself. It's an opportunity to know what the f you're actually made of. This sort of thinking is what champions do.
Vince Lombardi said, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. At the end of the day, the person that will surrender is the person that didn't work as hard as the other person. You got to work harder than the other person. So just when you felt like you did that last rep and your muscles are saying, I can't do no more reps, you say, yeah, you got to do one more. Because right now, you might be doing 5 more. While you quitting and giving up, while you saying, all right, I did enough, it's time to rest, he might just be getting his all.
In order for you to go from one level to the next level, in order for any woman to transition, for any man to transition, the thing that they want must be greater than the thing they currently have. Humans do not transition to another level when they're comfortable with the level that they're on.
Some of y'all are so caught up on the game that you don't get it. It is in practicing. It is in lifting weights. It is in resting. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grinding is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing, when you studying without coach, when you putting in those extra reps, when you watching those videos and you getting inspired, when you change your music.
Eventually, you know what you gotta do? You gotta do the work.
Don't keep playing around. Yeah, you gotta believe it, but you better get the work done.
Every person who has experienced the highest levels of success was the type of person of pure action. It wasn't because they had a great idea or a breathtaking dream, but because they executed that idea and acted to turn that dream into reality. So the most life-changing thing you can do for yourself is to stop fucking dreaming and start fucking doing. Stop excusing and get to fucking work.
Because you're thinking right now, like, I want a better home, I want a better car, I want a better family. No, that's what you say with your mouth. That's what you say to make yourself feel good about yourself, because you don't get out of life what you want.
One thing in life that's for sure, the valiant motherfucker always wins. Always, always. Embrace the suck, adapt to the suck.
You get out of life who you are.
Everybody likes the idea of success. Everybody wants to have millions of fucking dollars in their bank account. But going out and doing those things, going out and building a plan backwards from that point that you want to be and going through the day-to-day actions of building that, you don't love that idea. You like the idea of success as long as it's fucking easy, as long as it doesn't take dedication, as long as it doesn't take you having to do things that you don't feel like doing when you don't feel like doing them. You need to decide if you're in love with the idea of success or if you're in love with success.
You can stop at that level, or you can go, I want more levels. I want more fucking levels.
When you start losing, it becomes a habit. That's what's dangerous, and it doesn't just affect you. Now your children and your children's children are going to be broke. Winners win and losers lose. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. Life happens to everybody, but winners approach it like victors and losers like victims. Winners win, not because their circumstances change, not because they win the lottery, not because they get this network. Winners win because
not just for yourself, but for your kids, but for your spouse, for your parents, for your brothers and sisters. I'm talking about healthy urgency to say, you know what, I'm not gonna waste a day. I'm not gonna waste a moment. I'm not gonna waste my life anymore.
The greatest version of you is the version that has parameters. No, I don't do that. I don't drink that. I don't go there with these people. I'm focused. I have a prize that's in front of me. I know what I'm supposed to do, and that ain't it. I have to stay right here. I discipline my body. I stay uncomfortable in these situations like an athlete, training it to do what it should. After I get disciplined to do it for a long time, I start desiring it. You are now turning a discipline into a desire. And now what was used to be a dread becomes something that you know is making you better.
Don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day.
a real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. Because he loves the process. It is in practicing. It is in lifting weights. It is in resting. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing. When you put in those extra reps, it is in the process that you get better. It's in the process that don't nobody know your name, and 5 years later, you're one of the best in the world. Why? The process. I don't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm broke. Then why do you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
We're not living by the clock, man. If you do a clock says it's 10 o'clock, time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5, time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now, and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not fucking persons here. I can put an honest day's work in here like more than anyone does in a week, and no one sees it, because it's supposed to be that way. This is a fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. You're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking dues, so later in life you never wonder what if. Not run by the clock. Run by our desire where we want to go tomorrow. Our competition's getting asleep right now. We're getting ahead of that competition. The margins between first and loser, the second place finisher, growing and growing and growing. They're all gonna fight for second place.
They changed their mentality from being a loser, a victim, to being a victor and saying, I have what it takes. I've got the right mindset. I'm alive. I can count on me. So if you're tired of losing and you're ready to win, you to be a winner. If you're going to be the best, the cream of the crop, if you're going to be the apex, you got to be it, not talk about it. You got to be it. It has to consume you. It has to take over you.
You got to do a lot of shit that nobody ever sees or thanks you for or rewards you for a long time. It's delayed gratification. If you do the work consistently, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. 2 + 2 is going to equal 4. And 10 years of motherfucking work is going to pay off.
You stopping working to look at yourself. You not grinding. You glaring. You should be grinding and you looking at the score. The score is what it is. The score ain't about to change because you looked at it. Keep playing the game. Keep grinding. Keep working. And that other stuff will take care of itself. And the process is not supposed to be comfortable. So if it hurts, if you feel like you're under heat, if you feel like you're being pressured, welcome to the big leagues. The equation is always the same. Every single time, if you do it right, you're going to get the same answer. And most of y'all crying. I'm ready to quit because I put in some time. You might have put in some time, but you didn't put in the time that's required to make your dreams become a reality. You can't shortcut success. Ain't no days off. You're putting in work, and just because you can't see the results, you want to quit or give up. I ain't never quit. I ain't never give up. I ain't never give in. I just kept grinding. You putting in the work, and the only reason you pissed, the only reason you quitting is not because you want to quit, because you keep looking up and you saying we 3 in. Who cares what you are? If you keep going, you're going to break through. The only people that don't break through are the people who scoreboard watching. You think because you sick, you can quit. You think because you hurt and you in pain, you can just give up. You think just because you put in some time, that ain't the time. You put in the time coach told you to put in. You put in the time the teacher told you to put in. But you didn't put in the time that life told you to put in. You didn't put in the time that the grind told you to put in. So what? You've been working out for 6 months. So what? You just started studying. So what? You serious. You just got serious 6 months ago. So what? You can't cheat the grind. You either put in the time or you surrender. If it was easy, y'all, everybody would do it. But it ain't easy. But I know you have what it takes to make it happen.
Are you gonna get burned out? Yeah, I get fucking burned out, but that doesn't mean I don't still fucking do the shit I need to do. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what you feel like. It doesn't matter how frustrated or angry or depressed or upset you are. All that matters is that you do what needs to be done on a daily basis over and over and over again. And if you do that shit and it gets done, you're gonna feel a lot fucking better about your life than you do right now. How you feel about your life at the end of your time here is going to come down to your ability to cultivate discipline. It's going to come down to you developing the ability to do the things that you don't feel like doing because you know that it's the right thing to fucking do.
Violence of action. Go on the attack. You start feeling that procrastination set in, attack it with violence of action and start doing what you're supposed to do.
You gotta make a decision that you are not gonna be like everybody else. You are not gonna fucking do what they do. You are not gonna live how they live. You are not gonna eat how they eat. You're not gonna drink how they drink. You're not gonna do the kind of work they fucking do. And then you gotta go do that. And you gotta do it one day at a time. There ain't no fucking unfair bullshit happening here. You're not a fucking victim. You're a victim of yourself. You're a victim of your own fucking ass voice that tells you not to do the shit that you know you're supposed to do.
While other people are chilling, while other people are taking days off, while other people are relaxing, while other people are taking a break, telling themselves, all right, I've done enough now, I can rest. I am still grinding. I am still working as hard as possible to become the very best version of me.
A real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. A real man, when coach ain't even watching, he's studying film on his own because he loves the process. The reason why you're not having success and you're not able to raise the bar and keep raising it, you're not taking ownership of it. You're not devoted to it. You've not given a certain amount of time or your energy to a specific thing. And it don't work if you have doing it. And a part of success is just totally devoting yourself to it. You gotta own it. You gotta adore it. I want you to love school this time. Don't worry about your grades. I want you to love to read. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just, can you love reading? And I want you to love the process.
And that doesn't happen when it's showtime and all eyes are on you. No. Greatness is created in the dark, when no one's around. In those early mornings, in those late nights, where you're grinding away in silence.
When a lion is born, it's not a lion. When a lion is born, it's a cub. You know what makes it look the way it look? How does a lion look like that, but a giraffe don't look like that? He's chasing the food. So it is the process of hunting. It's not the actual meat that makes him look like that. It is the actual hunt. It's the actual chasing. So whether he catch it or not, every time he goes on the hunt, he's developing. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process. It has everything to do with what time you wake up. It has everything to do with how you eat. It has everything to do with how you work out, how you prepare. It has every single thing to do with how you think. I want you to fall in love with the process, because once you can fall in love with the process, there's nothing you can't do, because everything you have to do, there's a process to it. When I'm gonna get paid for speaking? When you put in the time. When I'm finally gonna pass this test? When you put in the time. When my man's gonna get better? When you put in the time. Don't rush the process, trust the process. Don't rush the process, trust the process. You say you wanna be great. You say you wanna get to the next level. You say you wanna be dominant, and all you do is talk, talk, talk. You talk too much. Shut up. Don't tell me. Write it down. Look at it. Get yourself in the lab. Go to work and show me. Show me what you got. Show me every single opportunity you get, every chance you get. I need you to grind. And I need you to grind on the little stuff. Do all your homework. Take every test. Wash the dishes and wash the dishes 100%. Mop the floor and mop it 100%.
Normal people are going to call you weird. Let them be the ones who go out and party, get drunk, get high. You keep grinding. You work for a better future. Outwork and outperform every last one of them. While you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping, I'll keep working. You keep talking smack, I'll keep working. You keep chattering about things, I'll keep working. You put in the work that no one else is willing to do, because most people in the world are lazy. It is hard, and that is why you will achieve things that other people will never achieve.
The greatest version of you is the disciplined version of you. It's the version that has parameters. No, I don't do that. I don't drink that. I don't go there with these people. I'm focused. I have a prize that's in front of me. I know what I'm supposed to do, and that ain't it. I have to stay right here.
Championships aren't won in the theater of the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, the labs, and the 5 a.m. runs, and the training, whenever else is sleeping. That's when it's won.
We talking about doing stuff in the dark so that when it's showtime, when the lights come on, you have prepared and you are ready for that opportunity.
Let them laugh at you now. Let them talk now. Let them say whatever they want to say. You're overworking. You're working too hard. You're doing too much. They will see it as ridiculous, and you will see it as necessary. Because at the end of the year, at the end of the next decade, however long it takes for you to get where you want to go, you will be the last one laughing.
The majority will inspire you. And why is that? Because your success is shining down their missed opportunities. When they did it for all those thousands of hours in the lab with no one watching. So when the opportunity did come to show off what they've mastered and trained, they weren't ready for it. They were in a self-control state.
If you really want your dream to become a reality, you need to give it up and go all in. And you are not here because you are still not all in. When you give effort, don't give no 70% away. You give 120%. Extreme effort. Why? Because I'm counting on me. My wife's counting on me. I don't have days to waste. You're not giving 120. You giving 60, you giving 50, and you won't with these people who've given sweat, who's giving blood, who's giving tears. You want what they paid for, and it ain't free. When I put forth 120% effort, can't nobody stop me. You can't be good and be a legend. You can't be great and be a legend. You gotta be phenomenal. I want you to push for legend.
See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. Doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself.
Your level of urgency and effort will dictate the level of changes you'll see.
Each level of hustle, of will, of action, of work is going to get you to a certain level, and then you're going to require more. It's going to take you evolving. You're going to have to expand. You're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to do different things. You're going to have to put in more work. You're going to have to read more. You're going to have to educate yourself more. You're going to have to do things that are going to help you create a new you.
You're going to have to commit at another level to discipline, because fruit only comes through consistency. Without discipline, you're available for attack all the time. Without discipline, you're indoctrinated with insecurity. Without discipline, you're overwhelmed by anxiety. Without discipline, you're not prepared for the future. There's got to be some type of discipline attached to whatever you want deliverance in.
And to get to the next level of success, you can't just have energy when you got energy. You're gonna have to learn to be disciplined. There's no better word for it. You're soft. You wanna be a champion, but you don't wanna work like a champion. I dare you to give 120% and stop joking. The good part of you know you can go to school and get a 4.0. The lazy part saying we ain't getting up today. Stop calling other people haters and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm hating on me.
Your mind will always choose the path of least resistance. We have to train our minds to choose the path of most resistance.
You will get tougher. Every time you push through, you build strength. Not just physical strength, mental strength. You're not just born with will. You create it. You develop it through effort. And every time you put forth effort, your will, your discipline becomes stronger. And every time you quit, your will and your discipline gets weaker. Do not allow that. You cannot allow that. Every rep counts, not just in the weight room, but in life.
What do you do about the negative person talking behind your back and trying to bring you down? Ignore and outperform.
There's 24 hours in a day. After you finish sleeping, I'm telling you to spend the rest of that time in action. And you're going to separate yourself from everybody. Why? Because most people, all they doing is talk.
You don't get to be number one by doing just enough. You got to want it more than anyone else does.
If a person leaves at 6, you leave at 8. If a person makes 100 calls a day, you make 200 calls a day. If somebody practices 3 hours, you practice 5 hours. If somebody practices 6 hours, you practice 8 hours. If someone reads 2 books, you read 4 books. Just do a little bit more.
We have 80 more percent that we're not tapping into, because in this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But to get to this light, you got to go through all of this.
You are going against the cultural norm of average, the cultural norm of sitting on your ass, the cultural norm of all of this average. When you go against that, you are going to naturally have resistance.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Mom would always say, why are you going to watch someone doing something when you can go out in the world and do it yourself? Turn that damn thing off. Get outside.
The road you're on, it's beautiful. It's more beautiful than you realize. You're going to see things you would have never seen. You're going to experience things you would have never experienced.
It's never going to make you feel good if you're leaving it on the table, if you're not exercising your potential, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a mission. The reason you feel like is because you know that you're letting your potential die on the vine.
You're going to have to do something. If you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to have to do something that makes you more different, more weird, more easy to be mocked.
You're letting your potential go to waste. And that is an underlying condition that's causing you this anxiety, causing you this stress, causing you this uncomfortable place. But the reality is you need to solve the underlying problem. And the underlying problem is You're not exercising your potential, and for that reason, you feel like shit. That's it.
Look at the road ahead.
When you give it your all, and you're willing to give up that, put all your will, all your effort, and look past the temporary pain of it to what that pain will dry and solidify into later, as this being the down payment for the future investment to come, willing to sacrifice this now for the belief of what tomorrow can be.
Your problem is, if the conditions are great, you great. When everything is favorable, you a beast. But when the conditions ain't right, you get smacked in the face. You gotta grow up.
Let me tell you something about the greats. We find a way to make it happen.
You gotta be a morning person, afternoon person, night person. You gotta be when you feel good person, when you sick person, when you tired person. Can you give me 120 and despite everything that's going on, greatness is in you. But the problem is, somebody's gotta push you. Somebody's gotta give you a reward. Somebody's gotta prod you. You're not self-motivated. You have to stay in beast mode. You don't get here by quitting when you're tired. You get here by quitting when you finish, when you're done. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done. You stop when you complete it, when you execute it. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Every single day, if you do what you said you're gonna do, you're gonna get what you dreamed to get. You gotta execute, you gotta execute. Execution is worship. If you want 120% results, then in every single area you're looking for this dream or this goal to become a reality, you gotta put forth the effort. I didn't get here being lazy. I didn't get here binge watching TV. I didn't get here taking days off. I didn't get here off being smart. I didn't get here being talented. I got here off that dog. I never quit. I never stopped. I never gave up. We just kept doing what we doing. You got skill and you got will. Two total different things. To stay at the next level, you gotta have will. You have to compete.
It's not that simple.
Why not?
No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. And it's a lie they tell you over and over again.
What's not simple?
Any of it. All of it. It's how they get you to give up. They say it's not that simple, Vinny.
So what's the truth?
That it is. And you realize it is that simple. That it always was.
That if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it. And if you don't work hard for something, you're not going to get an outcome that's really worth much.
You know, you must hope and believe in yourself if you ever want to see what that hope can turn into, what that belief can turn into. By doing this every day, repetitively, those are the measures that lead to the big moments of success that everyone sees in life. No one sees the struggle in here. No one sees the hardship, the early mornings you get up. No one sees any of that. They just see if your hand's raised or not. And if it is, oh, what a great guy. Oh, I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be that guy. But they're not clapping, wishing they could be you at 5 in the morning when you get out of bed, when it's pissing rain outside to come and train for that hand to be raised. They don't want to be that guy. They just want the glory. And that's the differential of a champion.
Get out in the world. Go hustle. Figure it out. Be home with dark.
And I got all my expertise the hard way by screwing up my own life first and then having to figure out how to fix my own life and make it better.
I don't hold on to grudges or gripes. It takes too much time, it takes too much energy. Things will work themselves out. They never not have. It'll always work itself out.
If you haven't had a catastrophe or a crisis in your life in the last 12 months, you're not doing something great. You're not trying to grow. You're not trying to change things. You're literally trying to change your life, change your family's life forever.
Think of it this way: if every bar I get into a fight, it's not the bar. So when someone's like, I have this problem, they're so set in who and how they are, they want to stay there.
The reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not.
It always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey,
you're just a man.
You're just a man.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering, you know?
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month, pero only one thing is true. I will be champion one day, I promise. I promise.
Plan what you do and then do what you plan. People who are extremely driven, extremely successful, they have the ability to mentally flip that switch to where they don't have a choice but to do the things they need to do. Because they'll talk as if they don't have a choice. They think that if they don't succeed, their world will end. And you know what? Their world will end, because that's how much pride and how much focus and how much intensity and how much drive and how much value they put on success. To where if they don't get to where they want to go, their life will have been a waste. And too many people look for a scapegoat to pass the blame for their lack of progress in any area, when they should be looking in the mirror and asking themselves, have I done the work? Look at anybody who's in great physical shape. You don't see them out drinking beers every fucking night. No, they're at the fucking gym.
What's that quote? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
That's it. It's a true statement.
This was one of the most important things. It wasn't about the result. It's the fact that I showed up. The result was just whatever.
Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future.
What is also useful to understand in that manner is that there isn't anything more adventurous than the truth. This is something that took me a long time to figure out.
In your daily life, you carry the quality of the body and you carry the quality of your mind. Both of them taken together is what makes you literally you.
One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
Gotta be humble. You know how hard it is. You're gonna be out of breath. The pressure's gonna be on. And so you gotta train, prepare. But when you get up there and you like knock your arrow onto your bow, you just gotta be like, oh, I'm gonna slay this right now.
Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, you know, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
Do you think Michael Jordan was interested in just being a basketball player? Do you think Kobe Bryant was just interested in winning championships? Interested is a fucking hobby. You have to be obsessed.
When no one's watching, do you get up and run at 5 in the morning when it's pouring down rain? Is a person of principle, a person of character that values who the they are. And everything they do accordingly. You don't go in here blindly, you go in there keep purpose, mentally believing it, like Muhammad Ali. He called himself the greatest fighter before he ever won something. He believed it. He had a strong directional path of where he's heading, going to work every single day when no one's watching, paying your fucking dues every single day, so that this belief rises to a level of maturity that others like, yeah, man, way to go. There's no half-ass here, half-ass there, half-ass there, and then when it matters, oh, I'll give it my all. It doesn't work that way. If you half-ass it here and there and there and there, you learn to half-ass it. So when it does matter, you don't know anything else but half-ass. You would never succeed that way. Who stands up, picks up the trash when no one's looking?
When you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it until you damn die. That's the secret. Every freaking day. Not some days, not 5 days a week, 7 days a week. The only people you know, and you know their names, are people that execute and that are consistent. People don't want to tell you the truth no more. They want to make you feel good. I don't care about making you feel good. I want to give you the truth. You don't train and get better. If you don't become a better version of yourself, guess what? Every single one of you are screwed.
You have no control over rain, no control over the snow, no control over the temperature. What I'm asking you to do to blow up this year, I'm asking you to control what you can control. You can control going to bed. You can control getting up. You can control being on time. You can control going to class. You can control showing up. You can control doing your homework. You can control your attitude. You can control being nice.
Well, I think partly because life is so difficult and challenging that unless you give it everything you have, the chances are very high that it will embitter you, and then you'll be a force for darkness and not good.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to try.
You know, your superpower isn't just your work ethic. Your superpower isn't just like figuring things out. Your superpower is like you think strategically. Like that's a very strategic thought of saying this person could be this in the future if they were developed as a whole individual, rather than just like, let's use them for the short term.
I gotta tell you, I think what it gives you maybe is freedom. I think it's a freedom when you're totally immersed in a process and not so concerned about results or outcomes. It creates a freedom. And then that science, you can actually navigate in an art form when you're in it. I think that allows the art to sort of take over, the energy, the whatever it is, when you're totally free.
And many don't aim at all. So raise the bar on yourself and don't ask how you're going to do it.
You overcame things. You fought them. And now this is what happens. This is on the other side of overcoming. You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All those things you once cowered from, you were afraid of, when you face them eye to eye every day, you now become a person who has a great podcast.
See, when they get to the end of their road, it wasn't real bumpy, the weather was pretty good. They get to the end of their road someday, it's the end of their life. They're gonna look back at their life with regret. They're gonna look back and say, I played it safe. I didn't take any risks. Here's the truth, I lived my life scared. I lived my life afraid I might crash.
If you need to perform, and like if I've got an event that I've got to do, I've got a mission that I've got to do, I've got to train, I've got to prepare, I've got to plan, and all of that is driven from humility, right? I don't think I'm ready, so I'm gonna prepare more, I'm gonna rehearse more. I'm not thinking clearly about what the enemy will do, so I need to come up with a better plan. Like I'm gonna be very humble, and I'm gonna therefore prepare very hard.
What you realize is a lot of the things that you feared or hated or were embarrassed about as a child end up being the genesis of the things that you're most proud about as an adult.
Winners do consistently what amateurs do occasionally. Amateurs, the people that want to get big but never get big, or want to grow but never grow, the people that run their mouth to yapping, jaw-jacking, they never seem to get what they want. It's because they're doing it occasionally. The winners out there, the top 1%'s the lions. You know what they're doing? They're doing it consistently.
I practice so much that when I get up and do the big gigs and stuff that count, I lick it. Why? Because I practice over and over and over and over and over. So when I get up there and do my thing, there's no errors because I've been so consistent that my body's like, boom, it's showtime. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And so if you would learn to be consistent, if you would learn to have a little consistency, that your momentum would kick in and take you to places you never thought you could go. We went from the backyard to the world. Why? Consistency. I need you to grind. Just be consistent. Wash the dishes and wash the dishes 100%. Mop the floor and mop it 100%. Go to work and do your work. Don't just go to work when you feel like it. Go to work every single day. Work on it every day. Even when you down and out, even when you're not feeling it, still do it. Why? People who do stuff consistently and on time, they get the same consequences. They get paid. They get rewarded. You can control doing what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it.
What's your state? Are you in a state of focus? Are you pumped up? Are you breathing deeply? Are you lasered in on something? Are you completely in there? Or is your state a distracted, diverted state? Hunched over, watching TV, looking at your phone. All of that stuff distracts us. Or are you in a state totally pumped up, totally focused on your dreams, lasered in?
All you need is to give it your full attention, the will to do it. See, the will gives us the ability to concentrate. If you can think it and you can let yourself get emotionally involved with it and you stay focused on it, you can have it. Get the thing that you want more than anything else riveted in your mind.
So the fact that you can work and thrive in solitude gives you the opportunity to be able to move to America and start a podcast, or decide to do Hell Week 3 times in a row, or it doesn't matter how long or dark the course is, you're just going to stay.
He's immediately
on her laptop, rewatching the performance.
No way.
Yes, seeing how to do things better. What could we have done differently, right? I mean, it's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is try to get them as perfect as they can be. And what can you do? It's in your control. So control what you can.
Seeing so much significance that none of that's significant. Every detailed frame you're giving it a proper name. Oh, if everything's significant, there's no significance at all, man. Some just like, I don't have the capacity to deal with it, or I don't really care. It's just how it is. Some of the inevitables, and sometimes you gotta let those ride. Go on, I'm not trying to, that's just how it is.
Proper comparison group for you is you yesterday. Because you can make, first of all, you're the only control group that's appropriate to you. Because you have a certain set of talents and possibilities and limitations and tragedies that are truly unique to you. And so you might be comparing yourself to someone else on some dimension, but it's not a reasonable comparison because you don't know what talents they were blessed with, and you also don't know what opportunities they had that you didn't, etc. It's just not a reasonable comparison.
If you see there basically being no shortcuts toward getting the thing that you want, there are ways to be more and less efficient. There are ways to do things with more and less of a positive disposition, which can actually make the journey feel an awful lot easier. But ultimately, if you assume that largely everyone needs to go through the same challenges that you're going through, every single difficult thing that you do is kind of like a massive wall that you need to get over. And you go, wow.
If you wake up at 4 o'clock for 30 minutes of sleep, you might be pushing your goals back a week, a month, an entire year by sleeping for 2 hours because you missed an opportunity. It doesn't matter how I'm doing. It doesn't matter how I slept last night. It doesn't matter how I feel. I don't care how it feels. I don't care if it's easy or hard. Don't care. Go through the motions. Get it done. Don't voluntarily do anything tomorrow that you should be getting done today. Get it done today. You got to get control of your brain. Control the things you think about. You can actually control how you feel. You can control what you think, and you can definitely control what you do. You got to be the master of your mind. Because I ain't finished yet. The deeper the process, the greater the reward.
The same person that's on top of the podium later in life, if you start shortcutting these things, as if no one's watching, doesn't matter, eventually it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. It won't. If everything you do, you put your name to the best of who you are. How do you know you're on the right path? When the small things mean as much as the big things.
Life does not reward people who wait to see what happens. What you put in, you will get out. Because you can think about it, you can wish for it, you can hope for it, you can think all about it all as long as you want. But unless you get out every single motherfucking day and put in the work inch by motherfucking inch, you will never get there. So while you sit there, start thinking that no one is going to fuck with me. Start thinking that no one is going to throw me off course. Start thinking, I don't give a fuck if the world fucking ends. I'm achieving this motherfucking goal. Take pride in doing the hard shit nobody else will do. Take pride at working out in the elements when no one else is fucking willing to do that. Take pride in doing the work that your fucking coworkers won't do. Take pride in training yourself in ways that other people won't. Those are the people that win. Those are the people that run shit. It doesn't just happen. You have to fucking make it happen. This shit is hard. It takes a long time. That's not the old-fashioned way. It's just the fucking way. You're gonna have to fucking earn it.